So I just got back from Arizona a few days ago, and the word of the Lord came to me this morning, and he spoke to me so clearly and vividly. What he has told me is that a lot of times we can let the dust that we have accumulated over different circumstances and times in our lives and people that we've encountered and talked to, and over time that dust will settle. And we're not going to the Holy Spirit. What's happening is we're allowing the dust that has, there was a lot of dust in Arizona, and I had to constantly, wash my face and just make sure that my clothing was nice and clean, and there was just a lot of dust everywhere. The car, constantly, I've noticed that people have to constantly hose off their cars, because what happens if you don't do that, you can't see. So here we are in the middle of Arizona, and I am standing there, and I realize, wow, there's so much dust here, and I hear about this giant dust storm called a Haboob. It's basically a wall of dust that consumes whatever it comes in contact with. And it takes about 10 minutes to pass through an area, but when that happens, everything has to stop. Airlines have to stop flying, cars stop driving, people stop walking. Pretty much everything just is at a standstill for about 10 minutes. And that's the wise thing to do, because you don't want to keep walking when you're blocked from seeing and the visual is impaired. So what happens when spiritually that happens to us? Let's say a spiritual Haboob, so to speak, comes through, and we end up walking through it, and we don't realize that we have actually accumulated quite a bit of dust. And now all of a sudden, we just, we're out of that, but something isn't right. And we're looking around and we're going, okay, I got a different perspective, and I went through that, and this is how I'm looking at things right now. And everything we see is being filtered through the dust that has accumulated on our hearts. Conversations that we had with people that weren't godly, interactions that we had with just times where we were just thinking, and allowing the enemy to manipulate our thoughts and cause us to come against people, be offended. We are starting to carry things because we just went through a storm that we're not supposed to. And that storm had a purpose. That storm's purpose was to blind you and to distort the truth. And eventually, we keep walking this way long enough, and we're gonna run into some major problems. Imagine if I was walking around like this every day, with these glasses full of dust. As you look at these, you see that? That is nasty, right? Well, what eventually will happen, look at that, it's even getting on my face. What eventually will happen is we're gonna start to see everything that way, okay? Because we didn't take care of the dust when it started. Every day I had to wash my face. Every day I had to make sure that I wasn't carrying dust around. Because if I didn't do that, every day the dust would accumulate. My pores would get clogged. I'd break out. I would have I would look different, my face would start looking differently. But imagine if this was our visual, our spiritual view, or even just, let's just say, our view period, our emotional view, our perspective on life. Imagine if this is how we saw the world. Now let me show you what I'm actually seeing, because you need to see this. See, where am I seeing this? Right about here? This is how I am seeing everything. Everything has been tainted. There's spots. I see a little bit of light trying to come through there, but I can't make it out. And, I think if this is how I'm going to keep walking, I'm going to have to change the way I walk. I'm going to have to change the way I think. I'm going to have to change the way I talk, so that I can adapt to this new lens, this new filter, this new perspective. And eventually, I'm going to keep walking. The Lord's watching you as you're walking. He can see perfectly clear. Can you see me very good? You start to look at yourself that way. Oh, What's going on there? I got some spots. I'm a mess. What happens is we have settled for the lies, the offenses, the filter and how we view people, instead of focusing on what God has been saying, and go to the Holy Spirit and say, Holy Spirit, can you just blow this dust off of me? Can you rinse me off? Wash me in your word so that I can see clearly how I'm thinking, how it's not your thoughts, what are not your ways and what are not your thoughts. But no, if we keep walking this way, eventually we're going to see ourselves this way, we're going to see the Lord this way, we're going to see others this way, and we're going to see life this way. And everything in our lives, every circumstance, every person in our lives are going to be seen through this filter. But how much better is it when we say, God, I'm going to give you my eyes, okay? I'm going to give you whatever perspective and vision that I have acquired over this situation, over my life. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me where I'm thinking incorrectly. I'm going to go to your word, okay? I'm going to get some verses, okay? And I'm going to allow you to apply that to my life. And my vision hopefully will change. And Lord, just work with me, okay? Because, you know, I'm used to this. I don't understand what it's like outside of this. So you're going to have to really help me through this. But I'm going to give it to you. So then God goes, okay. Take these. And we'll rinse them off there. You go, okay, God, that's good. That's good. That's good. I think I'm good now. Okay, well, what do we got here? It's half done, right? It's half done. So if I put this still in front of you, what do you see? Distortion, right? I'm still distorted. You can move a little bit from here to there. In other words, you can kind of make up excuses and keep running from it, and whenever it gets ugly, just come over here, just fight or flight, right? It's good, God. And every once in a while, oh, let me switch to this view here. I like that. But unfortunately, this is still part of your life, right? So you, okay, God. That's it. I've come to rock bottom. I got nowhere to hide. I got nowhere to run. It's just me now. I've been trying to figure all this out. I thought I was doing the right thing by pushing all these people away from me, by keeping and harboring bitterness in my heart, by thinking that they're the problem, that they're the ones that need to get fixed. And somehow, all of a sudden, you see this? What's on this side is running over to what's on this side. All of a sudden, you got a little bit more distortion happening here, right? So then you go, okay, God, I got no other options. It's you or it's nothing. God says, okay, give me your glasses. So you give them to him. Give me your eyes, give me your perspective. And we just rinse them off. He rinses them off. And all of a sudden, he sets them down. And before he gives you these perspectives, these glasses, he says, do you trust me? Whatever I show you, are you going to open up your heart? Are you going to actually believe what you see? Or are you going to go back to a desert, to a place in time in your life when the dust that everybody and their brother spoke over you, every negative spirit, every offensive, demonic, negative tongue that spoke to divide you and those that God put in your life, divide you from people, divide you from God, are you going to allow that back in your life? Because before I show you this, your heart has to be in the right place. And as God is kind of working on you there, guess what's happening? This is getting to a point now where all you need to do is receive it. In your heart, I'm drying them off now. So he's preparing this for you. He's preparing you to have great vision, see clearly, walk correctly and upright. But he has to know, are you going to allow yourself to be led in the same way that you were, which was not by the Holy Spirit, but by your own understanding? Or are you going to allow this new perspective that God gives you to be how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you see God? I'll show you what I'm looking at now. You're probably going to think this is blurry because I'm nearsighted, but it's clear to me. God gave me his perspective, not anyone else's. These glasses are prescription for what I need. The truth. He has prescribed me his word. He knows how to talk to me. He knows how to apply his word to my life. He knows how to fix every situation in my life. He knows how to give me the correct interpretation, vision, and thinking that is going to help me to be the person that he created me to be. And as I walk, everything is different. The way I see myself, the way I see other people, the way I see God. Nothing is skewed now. Nothing is tainted. Everything is clear. Everything has come into the light. When you get to that place where you can allow God to say, you were watching through a dirty, dust-settled lens, and you've allowed all that dust over the years to collect onto you, and you did not go to the Holy Spirit every time that something would come into your mind. A plan from the evil one to divide, to steal, to destroy, kill, steal, and destroy. Now that you have allowed me to cleanse you and wash you, you can see what I see. If we go to God, he's going to help us to see correctly. He's going to help us to see it the way he sees it. Everything is transparent. There is no confusion. There's no haze. There's no fog. And there's freedom.